Good morning, this is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 3rd of December. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at CTM The Bigger Picture.substack.com, and is published on YouTube after a delay of a week. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. Now, we were seeing some consolidation yesterday. I think a bull flag may be forming. It could be a triangle. We could see another leg down today. We are seeing a couple of indications that we might see a weak day today. On NQ, we got a nice move up from the lows a week and a half ago, and a decent looking little rising wedge. It looks as though it might be about to break down. No current negative divergence. On RTY, we've got a weak 60-minute buy signal fix, hasn't reached the possible near miss target yet. This looks like a flag forming. On YM, we've got no current divergence. DAX, no current divergence. Hang on, wait a second. Oh, here, sorry, I'd marked that in. I just thought I missed one. This is a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing on NQ. Yeah. All right, and we've also got another one. We haven't got one on DAX, but we've also got a weak 60-minute sell signal, which is fixed on ESTX. It's not an awful lot to go on, but it is suggesting that the two strongest, particularly this week, which have been ESTX and NQ, might be about to retrace a bit. So I think we might be looking at another day or two of consolidation. We will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts where, all right, let's have a look. Hang on. Okay, in terms of the daily middle bands, obviously we've now had 5 closes above on SPX. This is pretty solid. Daily middle band is now support. I've got that at 6743, and on ES, I've got that at 6765. So as long as we stay above those, that is support, and normally I would expect that to hold. If that doesn't hold, then we're looking at a larger retracement than I'm seeing any obvious reason for at this stage. In terms of the hourly charts, the RSI, we got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. We got a couple of these actually. The RSI 5 sell signal has reached possible near miss target. Obviously, the head and shoulders failed. That gives us a target back up at a retest of the high. And if this was a bull flag, then that's also got a target at a retest of the high. Chances are we're going to see that in the next few days. Nothing to see really on the 15-minute apart from an RSI 14 sell signal, which is still outstanding. Right, looking at the Qs, I've got support at the daily middle band at 610.47. Nice, break above, 3 closes above, solid. So in terms of the hourly chart, we've got a possible 60-minute RSI 14 sell signal brewing, and we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fix. We do have some negative divergence suggesting a bit of downside. 15-minute, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix as well. Dire, we've now had 5 closes above the daily middle band. Again, that's solid. Again, I'm looking at the daily middle band at 470.19 as support. We've got on the hourly chart, RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and an RSI 14 sell signal has reached the possible near miss target on the 15-minute. Again, this kind of looks like a flag forming. I am thinking we might see a retest of the high here, and then maybe a little larger retracement, maybe backtest the daily middle band. But we have got some negative divergence here, which normally I'd expect to see resolved in the next few days. And there are some indications that might be sooner rather than later. All right, looking at the daily charts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closes above the daily middle of the band after this very strong break above. We've got support at 240.51 at the daily middle band. On the hourly chart, we've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and we've got on the 15-minute chart, we've also got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, but that's reached the possible near miss target. Altogether, these look like flags. I'm leaning towards seeing retest the highs, but I am thinking that the negative divergence is suggesting we might see some more downside first. All right, let's have a look at DX. Okay. DX, very nice looking double top here, and it's very, very close to breaking down. Hasn't broken down yet. If it does break down, I'd be looking down for a target, which I think would be in about the 97.35 area. We will see how that goes. In terms of the other indicator, in other instruments, yes, USD looks like an overall bear flag forming. GBP the same. USD JPY looks as though it wants a retest of this high. Although that would suggest that we might be seeing a move up on DX rather than a move down. USD CAD, again, I'm wondering about a rally here. Not a lot to see in terms of Australian dollar and NZ here at the moment. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. And right, actually, it just struck me I forgot to do DAX and Nikkei, so let's do those quickly. All right, DAX. No current divergence. We've still got a possible head and shoulders forming here, that we've already got a head and shoulders which is broken down, which is the one I'd go with really. That hasn't failed yet. We're still struggling on the daily middle band, and Nikkei is still not over the daily middle band either. Both of these are still leaving a possibility that we might have a significant retracement coming that could take us back below the daily middle bands on the US indices before we go back up again. So that has me wondering. All right, let's have a look at US dollar. On the daily chart, we've got a double bottom which is breaking up, but obviously we've got a two-way scenario here. We've obviously got a bear flag which is breaking down. We've got a double top which is close to breaking down, and on the bigger picture we've got a double bottom which is breaking up. Now we could be about to do a 50 back, maybe a bit more than that, but there is a possibility here that we're going to fail all the way back into the lows. This is a two-way scenario. Either we break up towards and make a target up in the 104 area, or we go back and retest 96.22. On the pattern, I'd be leaning towards the upside. In terms of US government policy, I'd be leaning towards the downside. So we'll see which way that develops. I do like the bull flag, the overall bull flag setup on USD, although I'm very skeptical about the possibility of getting back to 114.78. But it's backed up, of course, by big bear flag on USD and a big bear flag on GBP USD as well. So we'll see how those develop. Looking at USD JPY, I'm still wondering about a retest of this high here at 162 to set up a possible level top. I'm looking for a reversal pattern here, and obviously we haven't reached that yet. We'll see how that goes. In terms of the short term, not an awful lot to see. We are holding the daily middle band at the moment, and while that might break, that's obviously an obvious support level. In terms of USD CAD, nice looking little rising channel here, so I'm wondering about a possible breakdown coming. We'll see. Otherwise, we've got another leg up towards the 1.425 area probably. On Australian dollar, nothing really to see. NZ USD, leaning towards seeing a bit more downside. I'm very skeptical about the dollar doing a big fail here. But obviously there's a possibility, and I'm watching that. All right, let's have a look at bonds. Now, ZB, seen a bit more downside this week. We had a double bottom that broke up with a targeted retest of the October high, and that's basically failed. We've got a 6-minute bicycle fix, reaching the possible near miss target after a fairly short rally. I'm thinking it might be coming back from a back test of the monthly pivot at 117.02. Looking at ZN, nice looking support here, and it's rallying from that. I don't really have a matching resistance trend line for this, but we'll see how it goes because it's a nice looking support trend line, and generally speaking, that will be part of a pattern. We will see. Overall, we've got a nice looking double top here, but obviously no current sign of that breaking down. All right, let's have a look at CL. Right, on CL, we've got a double bottom that's broken up with a target in the 60.75 to 61.15 area. This has been consolidating since. I'm still leaning towards that breaking up and making that target area. Bigger picture, I'm wondering about more unfinished business to the downside. We'll see how that develops. In terms of HO, this had the strongest run up here with a nice rising wedge from the October low, and that's broken down and retraced a lot of it. Could be forming a double bottom here around the weekly pivot. could be setting up some continuation downwards. RBOB, we've got a double bottom that's broken up here in the target 1.872 to 1.887 area, and as I mentioned yesterday, but hadn't locked in, first target reached. First target has reached, so we don't necessarily need to see any more upside on that. We do have a weak 6-minute buy signal that's fixed, and that is heading towards the target. If we get high enough, we might be able to reach the second target, which is in the 1.887 area. Looking at NG, NG is still looking pretty strong here. I'm kind of expecting this to turn, but wondering if it might not. Short term, nice looking little double top here. We're still on a 60-minute sell signal, and I'm watching this 5 level as possible resistance. Let's have a look at that on the bigger picture charts. All right, looking at WTIC first. Okay, bigger picture, obviously same as always. We've got the big falling wedges here. I'm looking for reversal patterns, and potentially all those reversal patterns are set up. In terms of WTIC, this is a potential double bottom, but I am wondering if we might make a lower low, get below 56.06, and set up a better quality double bottom. But to be honest, this is a decent one. I mainly like seeing the second low being lower just because it rules out the possibility that getting back up here is a flag for me. So we will see how that goes. But I think we're struggling to get over the daily middle band here. We're staying under the 50 DMA, which has not been broken for since really August. The breakdown in August, there's been no significant break above it. A couple of days here, it's not a lot, and I'm still thinking we may well see a lower low here, and we will see how that goes. Ukraine isn't helping though by ramping up attacks on the Russian ships now, and that is making this I think that's keeping prices higher than they otherwise would be. All right, heating oil, got the same setup. Here we've got a nice looking IHS, which has already broken up. Now we'll see how that goes. That's broken up with a target in the 3.26 3.4 area. I'm thinking that the other two would break up to confirm that. At the moment, there is a possibility that this might fail. We're actually coming down towards pretty close to the right shoulder low, which I've got at 2.147. We'll see. But it could be that if we're going to see a retest on WTIC, we'll see this fail, and we'll see a retest here, setting up a double bottom on heating oil as well. In terms of gas oil, same overall setup, very nice looking double bottom here already. Not close to breaking up. We've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the daily chart. I'm liking the upside here, but it does strike me that another retest of this low to set up a small double bottom would set up a nice nested double bottom setup. And we may well see that. All right, looking at natural gas. Natural gas, we've got this, we've actually got an old double bottom here, which broke up a while back with a target in the, I think, 5.8 to 6.2 area. It could be that we could go back and get that target. I'd more or less assumed that was failing. We don't have any negative divergence on the monthly chart. Buy signal reached target on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we do have an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. We've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and this is why I've been thinking this was likely to fail. Hasn't failed yet. Always possible, of course, that it won't. But I'm liking a serious reversal. I was warning when we were here that we had a period of historically prices, seasonally strong prices, where prices are likely to go up. We've seen that rise. Actually, it's almost doubled. And we're now in a period where seasonally we would see some pressure downwards over the next 3 months. So we'll see how that goes. But the sell signals are encouraging. We'll see. All right, let's have a look at metals. Where on GC we've got we had a sell signal at main target. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this high, and if we see that, then I'm leaning towards it continuing higher. I don't think this bull run on metals looks over. I think there is more to go. I think this has just been a retracement. In terms of SI, we've already gone higher. Could see some short-term topping action here. We've got a 6-minute sell signal fixed, possible at the level top. But really, bigger picture, I'm leaning higher. On Palladium, we've got a nice-looking double bottom, which is already trying to break up, with a target and a retest of the October high. On Platinum, we're holding the monthly pivot at the moment. As long as it can do that, then potentially we can head back to the October high on here as well. And HG is stronger than I have been expecting. We'll see how that looks on the bigger picture charts today. This is a potential level top, but I've kind of assumed that HG would be falling at this stage, and so far it's not been doing that. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. And all right, looking at gold. This was a consolidation triangle, like this was a consolidation triangle, and it's broken up. I'm really leaning towards seeing the retest of 43.81, and if it does what happened after the last couple of triangles, this triangle here, bull run, this triangle here, bull run, we might get another bull run, and I wouldn't be that surprised to see one. No negative divergence on the daily chart, or indeed positive at the moment. In terms of the bigger picture charts, I don't think we've got a lot to work with at the moment. Yeah, if we see a high retest, we get a possible possible weekly divergences for sell signals here, but on the bull run so far, they've just been gold's just been going through those. Looking at silver, making new highs off in fairly uncharted territory at the moment. Weekly chart, I've got possible weekly RSI 5 and RSI 14 sell signals brewing. Not seeing anything immediately suggesting that might break out now. Breakdown now. We've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed. Nothing on the RSI 5. Not a lot to hang out on. I would not be surprised if this continued going up fairly strongly. Looking at Palladium. Palladium daily chart. Nice looking IHS here. I've been talking about the possibility this was an IHS right shoulder forming. Sustained break up over 1666 would have a target in about the 2500 area, and I'm thinking that might well have a shot. Looking at Platinum, we've already seen a break up on an IHS here. We've seen a bit of a pullback here, but if we are going to be heading back and retesting the high, well, we've got an open target back up at a retest of this high here at 2290. This high is from 2008, I think, 2009. This pattern is an obvious way to go us there. In terms of the daily chart, RSI 14 sell signal fixed for a while, not really been doing anything. In terms of copper, we're in fairly rarefied territory by historical standards. The economy isn't looking great in terms of growth. House building is particularly being affected. That's not great for copper. Now, obviously, we've got the AI tech build out proposed. I wonder how much. Some of that's being built. I'm wondering how long that's going to last. But it may be that is enough to keep copper up here. But in terms of traditional sources like house building, well, that's not looking too promising. The economy generally isn't looking too promising, and copper demand in the US particularly will not be helped by tariffs. In terms of the weekly chart, got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing, but it's relatively weak. Got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed here on the daily chart. I'm leaning towards the downside. We've got a nice looking double top here, and I'd like to see it break down. Will it break down? We'll have to see. All right. In terms of GDX, I'm still leaning towards seeing a retest this high. We could start seeing some serious negative divergence forming if we do, and the same on GDXJ, which again I'm expecting to retest the high soon. In terms of the daily charts, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed on GDX, and maybe that's going to play out, but probably after a retest of this high. GDXJ, the same. Neither of them reached the possible near-miss target, but I'm thinking they may have more of a shot after retesting the high. In the meantime, I'm not seeing an awful lot to suggest we're about to turn, and I'm not seeing anything on the 60-minute charts. So we shall see. All right, let's have a look at the other commodities and KC. KC, we've got still can go around monthly pivots, waiting for direction with basically the monthly pivot firmly converted either to support or resistance. SB has broken up for a double bottom with a target in the 15.43 area. Still not seeing anything suggesting that's going to that's going to not make it. But I have to say this is increasingly looking like a bear flag on the big picture. On CC, we've got 60-minute sell signal fixed. Looks like a little bull flag forming, so might see a retest of this high and see that play out with a modest retracement on CT. Possible IHS forming, weak 6-minute sell signal fixed. Lumber broke up from the falling wedge. 60-minute buy signal reached the possible near miss target. Leaning towards seeing a retest of this low. I think this is a flag which has broken down, but the wedge is suggesting that we might then see a larger rally from a double bottom. On ZW, we've got a nice looking double bottom here at the moment. Waiting to see if that's going to break up. If it does, that will get us back towards this it'll get us back towards declining resistance in the 560 area. On ZC, we've got no current divergence. Overall, I'm leaning long, not seeing an awful lot to contradict that at the moment. On soy, I'm wondering about a head and shoulders forming here. And of course, there is a reason to think that soy might have a significant decline coming. There was, this big move up was on the basis that the China deal was done and China was going to buy a lot of soybeans, and actually so far they've not bought a lot of soybeans. So we could be watching a sharp retracement here. That the target for the head and shoulders would be in about the 1065 area, I think. All right, ZL. Retested this high, definitely not the second high of a double top, but wondering about a bit of retracement here on live cattle. Falling wedge has broken up, looking for a reversal pattern. We've reached a possible IHS neckline. We've got another one above here. Watching for that reversal pattern to form. On lean hogs, broken up from a falling wedge again. Kind of looks like a bull flag. Little level bottom was broken up with a target in the 83.3 to 83.6 area. I'd lean towards that being made, and as and when we get up to that target area, we're at a possible IHS neckline or asymmetric double bottom resistance. All right, let's have a look at those on the big picture as well. And coffee. Coffee is thinking about it in terms of direction. We've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. This looks like a consolidation, which has me wondering about a possible retest of the high. But I wouldn't be that surprised to see it break down. Sugar, obviously, bigger picture. We've got, as I've mentioned many times, we've got this head and shoulder target in the 905 area, and that could mean that we're going to need to drop $5 to get there. We will see how that goes. Shorter term, I've got some indications that we might see a bit of a rally here. Weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed, but this is stalling out at the moment, and it may be that it's running out of steam. All right, cocoa. Obviously, we broke down from this big pattern from a level which was way above where cocoa usually trades. I'm leaning towards the downside here on the big picture. On the weekly chart, however, daily chart, we've got RSI 14 buy signal fixed. RSI 5 buy signal has reached target now. But I'm thinking if we can get back over the daily middle band, we might see small rally, or if we fail there, then we could just continue on the path down. Wheat, I'm still liking the upside here. Nice looking double bottom has broken up with a target in the 580 area. Looks like a bull flag forming. I'm thinking this could be one of the big winners next year, but we'll see. Corn, I've got a big double bottom on wheat. I've got a big double bottom on corn as well. We're over this wedge resistance. Ideally, we'd just break up directly from here. Weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, not really been delivering much. But we've got an IHS here, which is broken down. We've been consolidating, as these often do, and this has got a target up in the 495 area. Not seeing anything suggest that target won't be made. All right, in terms of soy, we had a very nice looking bear flag here, and on the China deal, it broke up. And that break is just whatever happens with the China deal, this no longer looks like a bear flag. On the daily chart, we've got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. And I'm leaning towards some downside, and we're forming, as I was showing on the hourly chart, a pretty nice looking head and shoulders. I think that may well play out. On cotton, already got a nice looking double bottom here, but it looks as though it may be coming back for a low retest anyway. Lumber, still waiting for the breakdown below this big bear flag, which has been forming for almost 3 years. We've got a double top, which is broken down here with a target. That would be in the about 360 area, and if this bear flag breaks down, that would have a target in the 35250 area. Liking the downside here, but at the moment it's been kicking around for a while, not breaking down. Soon I think that will break down, and well, soon as one of these relative terms with lumber. I'd be thinking that would be making the target over the next year or so. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at crypto. Okay, crypto, on the bigger picture, I've got downside targets. I'm wondering about a move down to the 74.4 area on the Bitcoin chart. And that is a big support area and a possible head and shoulder neckline. One reason I'm thinking that is because we've got targets below on Solana and Ethereum, head and shoulder target here and a retest of 95.24. And on Ethereum, the target would be in the 2050 area. And I'm not seeing anything compelling, seeing those aren't going to make target. In the short term, we are seeing some breaks over the daily middle band, but I'm thinking, as I mentioned yesterday, that we may well be forming ABC bear flags, and we will see how that goes. We've already made a higher high on Bitcoin, but I would say we've got RSI 14 sell signals fixed on the hourly charts on Bitcoin and Solana. So it may be that we're about to turn a little earlier than I expected. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys again on Sunday.